Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today you've joined me at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, where it's very noisy in the Michelin Supercar paddock, but we're actually going to be filming with something a little bit quieter. Behind me is the Rimac Concept 1, a very, very interesting car that I have always wanted to film a little bit more with, and I'm going to be running up the hill here for the Hillclimb in the car to show you a little bit more about it. Let's have a quick look around the car now before we jump in to head out. This car has 1200 horsepower from the full electric 4 motors, one for each corner. That is a lot, 1,600 Newton meters. It is super low, super slick. You can see the way it's just going to cut through the air, capable of insane performance. It does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds. That is very, very, very fast. We're going to jump in right now, head on out, and I'll show you a lot more about it very shortly. But for the moment, I'm going to jump in with Miro, the test and development driver for Rimac. Open the door, in we step, and it will be time to head on out. How are you?
Hi.
Awesome. I will take the helmets, and off we go. Now the eeriest thing is we are total silence. This is just crazy.
Yeah.
We drift away. Everything in here is so futuristic. The displays, the setup, and we'll show through and talk a bit more about this shortly, but this is... And we line up, surrounded by plenty of other nice cars. Popping out just to have a little bit of another look around the car and talk a little bit about this, because it's completely different to anything else. It is totally silent here in this lineup of all the cars around us. But obviously with 4 motors, a lot of capability. There is also a lot of trick tech and cooling that's required. So all the sort of intakes around the front are for cooling certain parts. You have additional intakes at the rear for cooling the motors. Back there are the batteries, which are all mounted through the bottom, and the power unit up towards the top in the rear deck too. But obviously because the car is so low, that still keeps center of gravity stupidly low. It's one neat thing, the radiators back here you can see inside the lights. If I just bring the camera in a little bit closer, you can see those. Literally airflow coming out through the rear lights itself. It has a gearbox, so you have first and second gear dual clutch gearbox for the rear. The front has just one single gear, but the ratio is set up to match that of second gear in effect. You get 3.2 seconds to 62 in second, 2.5 if you're in first. So the way it manages that, obviously, depending how you want to drive the car, how you want it set up, and just, I guess, look around it. It's cool. They make everything for this car in-house themselves by Rimac. It's basically completely home built, home developed, home grown. The button for the door is under there, pops it open, and then of course you get to look around inside, where you have all sorts of screens and controls and fun technology and things you can play with, particularly the torque vectoring, which is what distributes power between the different wheels, depending on the driving style, technique, and what you want from it when you're out and actually driving. So I could probably tell you an awful lot about this. Probably Mate Rimac himself could tell us even more, but we're going to go up the hill with Miro and enjoy the drive, enjoy the experience, and see a little bit more about it. It is a bizarre sensation crawling past all of these cars in silence. Past the Chiron, the Centenario, the FXXK, the Ford GT. The noise of the Noble M600 ahead of us. Vantage AMR Pro, Vulcan AMR Pro. Bugatti Quaira BC. We're heading up towards the start line, but before we set off, a very quick glance at the sort of displays and dashboards here, and you've got all sorts of information up here, your rev counter, your sort of usage of torque or regeneration. And here in the screen, obviously at the current view, we've got torque and the way it's distributing between the different corners, the steering information, the G-forces. You can go through different screens, see the energy, battery, thermal, the cooling, the coolant itself, and trip information. But it's time to go up the hill, and for that I'm going to put it back in performance. It's a strange sensation in general, rolling up to the start line, because obviously I'm used to doing this in very noisy cars. And this is going to be a much quieter experience. Probably one I can talk through while we're doing it. Okay then. Head back.
Let's go.
Let's go. It squeezes you back into the seat. Wow. Sensation is crazy. There's no, well, there are electronic noises all over. It's the UFO style. We've been up to 200 Ks just as a sort of silent continuous waft. Very familiar with this, but for me who hasn't experienced that sensation before, it's completely different to anything else. The continuous power, but so much of it you're sort of like squishing back into your seat and being deformed slightly by the by the way it's all going.
We are still not on maximum acceleration, so in first gear it goes even quicker.
Yeah, so that was all in second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it feels like somebody's pulling you with a bungee rope, something like that.
Yes, completely. It's a different way the power is sort of comes through. Wow. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Now that was pretty special, but we've got to just take a moment to have a quick look through these screens and displays, because there's so much information here. And on the dashboard, you've got, well, quite different view to normal because you don't have a basic rev counter. How does this work exactly? What are we looking at?
So your main screen is basically speed. So on the right you have the power distribution, so how much power you're using or regenerating back.
Yeah, so up to 1200 at the top, and regenerating goes negative in effect.
Yes, and this is the RPM of the motors. So this is the front motors, rear motors, and you can basically see when you're in first gear on what speed your rear motors are compared to the front motors.
Okay, cool.
In second speed, the speeds are the same. So while the rear motors are in second speed, they have the same RPM like this.
Okay. And then you can see even more information on this performance display, which I've kind of been looking at while we've been going up the hill. The torque distribution, G-forces, steering angle.
So you have your steering angle, you have the lateral and longitudinal G, you have the torque distribution, so this is torque on each motor, so how much torque you're using or regenerating, the power, how much you're using or regenerating back. You see, you have your energy screen, you have your battery screen, you have your thermal screen of the temperatures of each system, you have your coolant screen, so how much the temperature of coolant going in and out of the system.
There's a lot of information in here.
Yeah. You have your trips, you have your stats, then this is the clever bit, because in your stats you have the different kinds of screens. Yeah, it's dusty, sorry. You have different kinds of screens, so you have different kind of information that you can swipe through, and
so we can look back through at the run we've just done.
Yeah, for example, let's see
speed up top.
Let's see the speed. So if we open this, you can see what was happening in the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
You can see what was happening in the last 30 minutes. You can overlap these graphs, so you can see one of the other. And this whole data is sent via the 4G network to the cloud. Okay. And you can see that the data on the desktop computer or your mobile phone. So.
Okay, that's awesome. And then you've got all the normal sort of navigation. Loads up, browser, settings. Yeah. Okay, so you can change the sort of regen settings and the way it feels.
Yeah. And you can also have your custom settings. So you want 100% rear or 100%.
Wait, so you can make it a 100% front-wheel drive car or a 100% rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
That's got to be quite fun.
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
To experiment with and change all sorts of other things. So the torque vectoring, the gearbox, the steering, throttle response. Yep. And you can also, I know, control that through the dials.
You control that through the toggles. Just set your settings on the central screen, save them, and just by turning the knob, it changes the character of the car totally.
And the gearbox as well, you can change that. So we did that run in just second gear.
Yeah.
But you could put the car in first and then have a faster launch, which would be even more crazy.
You will have faster launch.
And KERS and torque vectoring, and then the big button here for the on and off, stopping and starting, and putting it into life.
Yep.
Well, that was amazing, and the amount of technology in here is just phenomenal. It's so super cool. I could spend forever just playing around, probably just pressing buttons, looking through it all. Amazing, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you put this car in full rear-wheel drive, can you misbehave and do nuts? Be stupid, or is...
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But this is a customer car. And
I don't mean do it. I mean, I mean.
I know
the capability of it.
Yeah.
And obviously instant torque, so presumably you can light it up very, very, very quickly.
We did pretty silly stuff with this car. Not with this car, with the Concept 1. For example, we did just to see if it's possible. A tank mode, like put left wheels in one direction, right wheels in another direction, and you can spin it around.
Okay.
On snow. We didn't try it on the dry yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do silly stuff. This is a customer car, so we're really taking care of it.
Yeah, for sure.
The customer was really nice to give us the car.
It's been flown in, right?
Yeah,
flown in just for this event.
Really short amount of time. Yes.
That's pretty amazing. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. This is one of my personal favorites.
Okay.
Because this was the car that we did a lot of stuff. First, this was the car that was in Geneva. This was the car that did the first press launch.
I mean, it's only one of 8 in the first place.
Yes. But not two are the same.
Okay.
All are different. Even with the same settings, with the same setup, every car has that something that differentiates them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just for the camera, I'm going to press it back into vehicle because I like watching this live. Where you just see, I mean, even doing tiny numbers, but just watching the way the torque splits.
Yeah, even on the cars with gently braking, you can see
So basically, the only relevant figure here is torque, horsepower.
You can see that.
Completely, it was all different.
Yeah.
So it's judging the road surface. And I guess making the most of it. Wow. That's cool.
You want to see the first gear?
Okay, I'm gonna sit back, hold on tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that fun?
Yeah. I don't have anything to say. It just shoots. That was quick. If you try and keep your neck forward, the muscles are really struggling. Wow, you've been involved in it though, I guess, all the way through the...
Yeah, it's developed, like, my neck has grown since we started doing this thing.
But I think one of the interesting things is the Concept 1, this car, was the first iteration of what Rimac could do. And working with so many other companies developing new technologies, public partners like the Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you guys have cooking.
I'm not allowed to say, but I would very much, because we are all, gearheads, petrol heads, drivers, people like cars in the company, they genuinely like cars. And they're all excited when we do a new project, and when a prototype rolls around. It's hard to, stop people as is, not film it, because, we are under the NDA. But still, when we get out with the car, everybody goes out. It's like a little playground. It's a really great team. Young people, they really like what they're doing.
Excitement about what's being done. So there's also a reversing camera here. Although it's rather sunny to see that at the moment. Tucked in neatly. So that was quite an amazing experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it an awful lot. When you go for a ride in a car like that, it redefines your understanding of physics, the way it propels you and pushes you forward. I'm not going to lie, it is very, very firm. The seats are firm, it's a small cabin, but it's about the experience. And for me, that was just different to anything else. I'd love to sort of see the car, spend more time with it, show you more about it. But this has been fairly magical today, just going out for a ride in the Rimac Concept 1. I mean, it's been an interesting journey, and as we were just saying, the journey has sort of got a long way to go from here as well. It's progressing very, very fast in this industry, and Rimac are working with some huge partners in the world as well. Hope you've enjoyed that journey then. A big thanks to Miro for taking me out. It's been awesome. I'm going to wrap it up there from the Michelin Supercar Paddock at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Thanks again for watching as always, guys, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers!